Hey everybody, welcome back into the Mosh Pit. I'm Dustin, and we are back into First Bite. I'm about to ask Valeria here about her abilities before she turns me. We already talked a little bit about her abilities before I got in here to her bedroom, but let's get a little bit more info. You said something about having an ability, you know, like magic powers.
Magic powers? I'm not a bloody wizard, but I suppose you could define it as a power. It's nothing just any of us can learn, but something deeply ingrained in certain select individuals.
I wonder if I'll be a select individual.
Some of us don't have anything special beyond the usual vampire bullshit. Speed, strength, being smoking hot and exceptionally good in bed, etc., etc. But then there are special cases, like Laura and I, who have precious gifts.
Not Ilias? She purses her lips, contemplating my question.
Ilias is special in the sense that he has a terrifying, unquenchable thirst and flies into a blood rage if he gets even remotely excited about the prospect of murder.
His senses are impeccable too. As you discovered, he can sniff out prey with startling ease. I've never seen him fail a kill. She sighs dreamily.
An impressive beast indeed.
I hate that adverb. I try not to focus too hard on the shitty adverb I had to just read, and the blood rage, and force a smile. We haven't quite been able to figure out if he's just like that, or if it's an ability. He says he quite enjoyed killing people before he was turned, though, so I guess that could have carried over. Just another of life's many beautiful mysteries, I suppose. So he was already a murderer. Oh, geez. Ha, yeah, much to think about.
Anyway, enough about that brute. It's Valeria time.
She flicks her hair over her shoulder dramatically. I have one that humans call cerebrokinesis. Consider my interest highly piqued.
A handy little trick indeed. Especially when needing to subdue my prey.
She grins, fixing me with a pointed stare. Oh. There are many factors to such power. Mnemokinesis, sedation, but my favorite is what Illy so eloquently calls my mind-fuckery. Mind-fuckery? She takes a step closer, twirling a strand of her hair around her fingertip. It's anything but coy. I can show you if you like. Closer again, her fingers coming up to curl underneath my chin. She tips my head back slightly.
I'll be gentle. I have no interest in breaking you.
So she says. Yet. Despite every single one of my instincts telling me I should probably at least try to have a little interest in self-preservation, the cool touch of her skin makes mine against mine is luring. What do you mean by show you exactly? She shrugs, dropping her hand, and I remain frozen in the position she placed me in, chin tilted in almost submission. She wiggles her fingers like spider legs. Oh, you know, I'd just dip into your consciousness and show you some pretty pictures.
Unless it isn't a pretty picture you're interested in, of course. I can conjure up anything you desire. Pain, pleasure, fear, a trip to the beach. Just pick your poison.
Interesting. I'd rather not. Let's do the sexy stuff. I swallow loudly and fix her with my best bedroom eyes. Give me the sexy shit. She snorts.
Oh, typical. Just like Laurel and Illy. But lucky for you, this happens to be my strongest area. Close your eyes, kitten.
Okay. Can't read if I close my eyes, but okay. I listen and close them tight, and the effect is instantaneous. I'm on a bed, the sheets are blood red and possibly soft against my bare skin. I can feel hands upon me, but I can't see them. They're touch drifting carefully over my hips, waist, and ribs. They press firmly, kneading at me before turning soft and gentle, fingers tracing the cut of my clavicles, then up over my throat. I can't tell how many of them there are, but I feel overwhelmed, the best kind of overwhelmed. Like my brain is about to explode and a galaxy is going to burst to life behind my eyelids. Overwhelmed. There's a quiet whisper in my ear, a voice that feels familiar but that I can't quite place. Maybe it's Valeria or Laurel or Ilias. Either way, the voice says that things that cause heat to bloom across my cheeks and the tip of my ears, everything burning hot, hot, hot. Feeling hot, hot, hot. I'm on fire. There's lots of desire, feeling hot, hot, hot. Just as I'm about to break, as I'm dangling off the precipice, I'm yanked back to my harsh reality. Well, it isn't all that bad. Valeria's here after all. Valeria, who is looking at me like she wants to eat me whole.
You're so receptive, kitten. That's good to know.
My skin still feels all hot and sticky, my palms sweaty, mom spaghetti. That was fun, a lot of fun. You're very talented. I know. You know, talking to you is quite literally the most exciting thing that's ever happened to me.
I should think so too. I'm wonderful.
Wow. I huff a laugh, nodding in agreement, and then weird, stagnant silence falls between us. I feel like I need to broach the subject of her maybe possibly doing me a solid and turning me, but I'm hesitant to break this weird, strangely comfortable rapport we seem to have going on where she doesn't really look like she wants to kill me anymore. Valeria is staring at me, her brain clearly working hard to try to figure me out, and I hate how much of an open book I probably am.
You know, siring someone is not a thing our kind takes lightly.
And my traitorous human heart and brain is no match for her. She continues stepping closer.
It's a commitment that no mortal could ever fathom. Something more permanent and intimate than any futile bonds made during a human's lifetime. You're tethered for the rest of your immortal life, for eternity, unless one of you turns to ash.
Maybe even then.
Despite the distance between my sire and I'm still all too aware of his existence.
Sounds like it was a bad parting of ways. I watch her expression shift, a subtle change that looks almost human, her sharp, otherworldly beauty softening for just the briefest of moments, before she's back to being cool and perfectly collected. There's something almost soft and vulnerable about her under all the bravado and snapping teeth. It's nice.
I was turned against my will, as most of us often are, and a person like me doesn't do well with being betrayed. I was rich and beautiful and free, and I fell in love with a man that I believed would join me in that freedom. I believed that we were the perfect match.
And then Valeria glares at me, and I decide to dial it down my curiosity. I'm trying to get lucky here, not straight up murdered.
And then that bastard goes and kills me on our fucking wedding night.
She bares her slender throat to the tip of her head, a sly smile before grabbing my wrist and yanking me closer. It's a bit late to play coy. You can touch. It's invisible to the naked eye, but when she guides my hand to her neck, and a careful run of my fingers over her cool skin, I feel the raised, long-healed scar. I can't help but shudder. Whoa. Teeth, sharp and unforgiving, the scar is messy, deep, and clearly her sire showed her little mercy in her final moments of mortality.
He loved me, and I loved him, even after what he did. But I could never forgive him for taking that choice away from me, for not even giving me one in the first place.
She releases me and lets her hair fall back over her shoulder.
The years all begin to bleed into one eventually. You watch your family die, all while you remain unmoored, just existing somewhere in between. You prepared for that, to watch your loved ones wither and die, to be tethered to me for the rest of time.
Her smirk is devilish. I'm having second thoughts. That means I get murdered? I'm pretty sure. I'm so fucking ready. My heart is a hammer in my chest, quite literally burst Out of my ribcage, alien style. Is this really happening? I'm so fucking ready. I've never been more ready for anything in my life. Dust up my family. Burn them all to ash. I don't care. Just want you, Valeria. You know, I'm impressed. I can't detect even an ounce of hesitation on you. She grabs my chin tightly, leaning in to run her nose along the edge of my jaw. I shudder from head to toe.
Before they die, humans tend to reek of fear and dread. Oh, it's exhilarating. But you...
When she pulls away, just enough from her to make sure I can look deep into her eyes, she bites her bottom lip.
You smell like excitement. It's a most delicate, intoxicating ambrosia. I can't wait to taste you.
Oh, wow. Wow. My breath hitches and I nod slowly with great enthusiasm, trying to telegraph that I am incredibly fucking stoked right now without having to use my brain to form a coherent sentence. My heart does something weird in my chest again, an inverted beat, all of my blood rushing the wrong way as I try to focus on the sight of Valeria moving toward me with greater intent and that hungry look in her eyes.
Oh.
She laughs, tutting quietly.
Don't be afraid, little bird. I'll take good care of you.
Stupid of me to forget that she can hear the way the organ is literally trying to pound its way out of my body, my ribcage ready to split open and let everything vital pour out onto her nice soaked bed sheets. I bet they cost a lot of money. She tilts her head, a sharp smile cutting her perfect face in two as she reaches out and curls her cold fingers around my wrist. She feels the bumps on my veins and delicate bones with the pad of her thumb, and I think it might be the horniest thing I've ever experienced.
I promise to make you feel good first.
First?
Well, yes. Before the whole killing you part.
Shit. Right, that. Killing me, then bringing me back as your favorite new immortal partner? She snickers and boops me on the nose with her fingertip. Aw, cute. You're cute. That's not exactly an answer, but okay. Well, I guess there's no going back now. I'm just glad I'm going out this way, and if she refrains from fully murdering me, we'll have a nice experience to look back on together.
Your heart is beating so fast, like a little rabbit. It's so noisy.
She brings my wrist to her mouth, brushing her lips over my pulse point. I can see the white of her fangs, the threat of them making my toes curl, and then she licks a wet strip along my skin, stopping at the heel of my hand to apparently savor the taste. You taste sweet like honey. Is that a good thing? Her answering laugh makes me flinch, and she's quick to grab my other wrist as she settles over me, her thighs astride my waist. She's petite in stature, but there's nothing small about Valeria. She looms, filling the room with an almost oppressive presence. Even when standing beside a physical giant like Ilias or someone like Laurel who can cut you with to the core with just a look. Her dress rides up her leg and she shifts on top of me, already leaving a little to the imagination. But the way the fabric pulls at the curve of her hips makes my mouth water. I'd reach out and touch her if she wasn't pinning my wrists above my head. I'd reach out, but then I can't exactly bring myself to be mad about that. Stay. I nod. I have no interest in disobeying her.
Now, tell me what you want, kitten. Use your imagination.
Let's see. Let's see. I want you to fuck me and turn me. Sounds fun. I want you to spice it up. Cuff me. Also sounds fun. Just make me like you, please. Oh my god, no. Let's spice it up. I feel like I could fight God and win right now, so I pointedly look at the handcuffs, and Valeria follows my gaze. You really want to play? I nod. I do. Very well. Valeria releases my hands, but I keep them exactly where she placed them as she leans over and retrieves both the handcuffs and a silver sliver of black silk. She holds them both up in the air. It looks somewhat triumphant. Oh, is that it would be a blindfold? Both. Yes. Well, she can make me see whatever, right? So, yeah. Yes, both, please. She takes a hold of my wrists first, closes the cool metal around them. The click of the lock feels like the final nail in my coffin.
Oh, it's been a while since I've been with a human. You're all warm and fragile. It would take so little to break you.
Break? She laughs again, more condescending noise this time. Her dark hair falling over her shoulders as she leans closer. Our noses brush. Now close your eyes. I obey, and the cool soak of the fabric is placed over my eyes. I suddenly hyper-aware of every touch she bestows upon me. My other senses sharpen to a knife's edge. Let's get you out of these pesky clothes, shall we? Fuck yes. Oh, fuck yes. I said it again, okay. I can feel her hair tickling my throat when she leans in, the commanding palm splayed flat against the center of my chest. It's a wordless command to stay down. Like I could even think about moving when she has me like this. Do you miss looking at me? Miss touching me? I groan as she leans in and nips at the soft flesh of my throat, a vague promise of fangs driving me fucking crazy. I've always been into the idea of being bitten by a vampire in theory, but that was when I thought they were nothing more than a figment of population's imagination, something that lived only on pages or movie and TV screens. Knowing that they're real, and having one directly above me intending to fuck me and bite me is a whole other story. Those fakers could never hold a candle to the real thing.
Such a lovely specimen.
I wonder what you'll taste like. Her clever fingers walk down my abdomen at an agonizingly slow pace, finally settling between my thighs, and I swear I see God, or maybe the devil, when she finally touches me where I need it the most. My belly button. I try to catch my breath between the not-so-gentle waves of pleasure. As we move together, Valeria intermittently whispers filth in my ear, like she intends to kill me with a dirty talk instead of fangs. If only you could see yourself all wrapped up like a present. Her voice wraps around my throat, filling my lungs like smoke. I nod mutedly, past the point of coherency, and make any sense of whatsoever. Every part of me is lit up and turned on, my body rushing fast and hot. There's a distinct feeling rising from the darkest depths of my stomach. It curls up at the base of my spine and squeezes. I know my time has come to... Valeria pushes her thumb into my mouth until I'm choking on the remainder of my silence.
Don't be cliché, kitten. You don't need to say it. I can smell it on you. Can taste it.
I'm impressed that you lasted this long. I make a weird noise that I hope I don't remember later. If I even have a later. It bodes well for me that my feeble human stamina impresses you. She laughs and the sound makes my toes curl, her eyes dark and reverent and swallowing me whole. Like she knows exactly when I'm about to fall over the precipice I've been desperately clinging to. She leans in, presses her lips to mine, hard enough to brand the shape against my skin. I let go, and I'm free falling. I come grasping, Valeria swallowing the sounds, even making some of her own, and then she has her fangs at my throat. As the sharp points of her teeth pierce my flesh, I feel a white-hot burst of pain, the kind you get if you curl your fingers around a scalding pan straight out of the oven, but then it's gone. It hurts still, but the pain bleeds into something verging on pleasure. It spreads throughout me, warm and tingly, not much unlike the feeling I've just experienced. I furrow my body and try my hardest to stay lucid as she drinks. The noises she makes are sensual, little whimpers and groans muffled by a thick glut of blood that slides down her throat. I still have the brain power to decide that it's the hottest thing I've ever experienced, and I just fucked a vampire. Valeria shudders and pulls back. She yanks the blindfold off my face, and what I see makes me wonder if I'm already dead, if I'm in a really fucked up version of vampire heaven. Her eyes are wide and glittering as a line of blood, my blood, trickles down her chin.
Fuck.
She presses her fingers to her skin to stem the trail, catching the liquid before messily pushing us. Really? This game is going pretty good, and then you put in an adverb like messily. Do you realize what that sounds like when you read it? It's awful. It hurts. As a fellow writer, there's better ways to describe things than using... Oh my god. Okay, I'm not gonna... Let's just continue. Moving on. She presses her fingers into her skin to stem the trail, catching the liquid before pushing as much of it into her mouth as she can. See? I skipped that and it sounds so much better. She sucks her digits clean.
Like cherries. Ripe ones. Better than I anticipated.
She licks the red from her teeth, smirks down at me. My dying heart stutters in my chest. Now, time for dessert. She bites into her wrists. 2 perfect puncture wounds that drip deep, dark red, the most perfect little beads surfacing on her pale skin. She presses it into my mouth and the taste of copper bursts against my tongue. It's cold. Instinctually, I drink until she pulls away, apparently satisfied.
Good night, little bird. See you on the other side.
I feel her hand brush over my eyes. Her touch feather-light. Everything goes dark again. The tingling in my limbs gets stronger. The death feels a lot nicer than I anticipated. In fairness, I just came my brains out. So I'd say it was a pretty good curtain call. I know how this goes. I've spent enough time writing this shit online. Dizziness, nausea, blood vessels constricting as the body tries to compensate for its losses. But this is different. Maybe it was the blood that Valeria fed me. Like some kind of morbid vampire ibuprofen. Take 2 on a full stomach before dying and wake up eternally hot. She's still touching me, her cool fingers tracing the shape of my lips and brushing over my eyelashes, where they fan against my cheeks. I wonder if she's helping me through it. It's intimate. It feels like the start of something. The pain begins to reach a fever pitch as my body readies itself for the transformation, but Valeria's lips are at my ear before I lose consciousness. Her voice, breathy and sweet, gentle in a way it wasn't before.
I can't wait to see what kind of monster you'll become.
I feel a strange sense of peace through the pain as it peaks and tapers into numbness, and I let go. I let myself fade away. See you on the other side. Part 4, Rebirth. It's the same feeling, the prelude to waking up. It's 5 minutes before your alarm goes off when you're about to enter the waking world, but the desperation to stay asleep claws at you. My fingers begin to twitch, and I blink as if I'm stuck, anchored to the land of dreaming. Hazy memories drift to the forefront of my mind. Then perfect clarity, everything I remember at all. From entering the house, to meeting the vampires, to the interview, to Valeria's bedroom. And finally to the turning. I'm still in Valeria's bed, my eyes still closed, my senses slowly returning. I can smell her all around me, floral and sweet and sharp, as well as my nose feeling superpowered. My ears are fine-tuned to, well, everything. I can hear the skittering of animals outside, the gentle chatter of humans down the street. And then I realize that there's also a couple of things I can no longer feel. Once vital things. The most vital of all, my heart is dead. I'm hyper-aware of it in my chest, and it feels heavy despite its dormancy. A gentle reminder of my new state of being, I suppose. There's also a distinct coolness to me. From my bones to my skin, though it isn't the same as being caught in the snow and left to thaw. It's a strange, prickling awareness. All things considered, this feels like a peaceful sort of awakening. There might be a distant memory of pain and screaming, of my body dying and rebuilding itself while I was stuck somewhere in between, but it doesn't haunt me. Maybe it's tucked away for keeps? I take a moment to embrace it all. And then I feel a finger poking at my chest. Hey! I hear a quiet, dirty laugh, and I'm suddenly all too aware of a body beside me. Valeria. She's lying flush against me, her body temperature now feeling strangely normal. if not a little warmer than my own. I suppose that technically I'm a freshly risen corpse. Cool.
Wake up, sleepyhead.
This game's taking it out of me. I'm groggily open my eyes when I hear her voice. My eyelids feel heavy. My head is throbbing, like I'm suffering through the worst hangover in the history of everything. The sight of Valeria soothes away the ache. Oh, dang, she changed. Nice outfit. Leaning over, she presses her crimson lips to my ear, her voice dipped low. Good night, sucker. Happy death day. Night. How long was I out for?
You died, little bird. It takes time for the body to recover from that.
You were out for about 3 days, give or take. Not bad. I've seen some take up to a week to turn fully. As I shift under the covers, I focus my attention on my arms. More specifically, that they're crossed over my chest like a poor facsimile of those dramatized movie vamps she scoffs at. I roll my eyes at her, trying desperately not to smile. Really?
Ugh, you're the one so enamored with all those silly little vampire tales, kitten. Besides, I was bored. Had to entertain myself somehow.
Playing with the body? Her pout shifts into a smirk. I pause for a moment to take her in while she lounges beside me, and if they were still able to, I think my cheeks would be heaving. The incredibly flimsy lingerie that she's wearing leaves a little to the imagination, and for that I'm incredibly thankful. It even has sparkles. Oh yeah, you can kind of see it right there, those little dots. It feels like I'm seeing her for the first time in high definition. She's even more beautiful than my feeble human eyes could even possibly comprehend. She has a glass of red wine, expensive and old, my new nose tells me, in one hand, and the other clutches an indecent-looking novel titled First Bite. The cover is adorned with a particularly lewd illustration of a vampire chowing down on half-naked human, who looks a little too pleased about it. I can relate. A vampire romance novel. Is it good? You are absolutely not in a position to judge me.
Did dying make you forget that you write cryptid erotica, sweet thing?
Fair point. Can I at least see the synopsis?
Ugh.
Can't have my sire reading subpar smut. I move my hand to reach for the book, and I see that my other dark clothes have been replaced by a black silk robe. It even has fluffy sleeves. Before I can question it, Valeria speaks. It looks adorable on you. She's playing dress up too. She dressed up the corpse. I stare at her for a hot minute before I remember her tricky little mindfuckery powers. Thanks, I think? You're incredibly welcome. Now, do you feel up to taking your new body for a spin? Close your eyes, baby fangs. I nod and oblige without hesitation.
Illy, Laurel, enter.
Open. Alright, they're in here now. Laurel and Ilias are standing in front of me, and if I had to guess, they're probably lurking outside and doing some very casual vampire eavesdropping. Valeria asks us to assist with gently easing you onto the fold. What Laurel said. So, what does that entail exactly? Valeria set aside her book and a glass of wine and stands to join the other two.
We planned a little surprise for you.
I love surprises. The three of them grin at me, sharp teeth on display. It's decidedly unnerving. I narrow my eyes at them. Feeling less enthusiastic suddenly. Please don't bring a human for me to suck on.
Oh, cool it, baby fangs. It's nothing like that.
I mean, you gotta get it over with, right? I mean, now that you're a murderous vampire. It's your very first day as a vampire, and Valeria nods to both Ilias and Laurel, and all three of them pull something from behind their backs and place it on their heads. Fucking party hats with rainbows on it. They're also all holding colorful party poppers. It's the best birthday ever. If my heart could beat, I think it would be pounding double time. The fact that they did this for me, that they all look so happy, it feels like I'm really part of their family. Like they're proud of me. I really hope vampires don't cry blood. I guess I'm about to find
Happy birthday!
Sucker! Okay, switch of music really quick there. After our little celebration, Valeria escorts Laurel and Ilias out of her room to give me a moment to compose myself. I walk around trying to get used to driving this hot new immortal body. I stare down at my palms, my skin flawless. If not a little pastier, then it's usually the hue. I poke my fangs with my tongue. Feeling the newly sharpened points, Valeria says they'll get bigger in time, and she seems to find great pleasure in calling me baby fangs. I dig it. Do you? I'm actually a vampire, a real-life blood-sucking fiend. Dracula and I are practically the same-ish. Saying the words out loud makes me feel real, and I know what I want to do next. Thinking of Ilias, Valeria, Laurel standing together, it hits me that my entire life has changed in ways I could possibly fathom. Everything I thought I knew, all the things I held dear, all that is behind me now. And yet, the thought is strangely appealing. My stomach flutters and my chest tightens, but the tears that spring to my eyes don't feel like any sort of grief at all. It feels like a new beginning, and just maybe, belonging. I wander downstairs to find myself back where I started, in the foyer. Well, that's a good place to stop it. Man, okay, so we turned, had some vampire sex, and we are now full-on vamp. I don't know where the story is going, but we also just entered a new chapter, so things are about to get weird. I don't know how long this game is, so, haven't had to do a save in a bit. Let's do a save. We haven't really had decisions that were make or break, I don't think, until now, so, yeah. I think we'll call it there. Thanks for watching, everybody. Let me know in the comments below if you're liking this series and what you think of my decision to go with Valeria as my sire. And I will see you in the next video.